customers. So let's see. And if they're listening, give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. A tokenized DeFi fund using real world assets. That's a good play, right? That's giving real world assets velocity. If you just want to buy tokenized gold and put it in a fund, there's already one out there. It's called the GLD ETF, right? There's already $80 billion in it. But tokenization allows you to actually do more, right? As we've discussed. So yeah, definitely. Would love the BlackRock marketing play, but obviously, the logical one would be, something which is actually using DeFi and all its applications, right, to make more money from your money. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, so I think the user got the answer to that question. Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan. Thank you, Mr. Guido. Guys, we have about 3 to 4 more questions before we go on to the live segment. So this is just an announcement. Make sure to send your questions. I'm currently on the Binance Live platform right now, and you see your comments. So send your questions. We will be taking your questions, about 5 in all, and we would answer those questions. But make sure to join the Telegram before we take your questions. So thank you guys so much. As an investor, why would we rather choose to invest? Why would we rather choose to invest with Aurus? And what are the plans to trade and buy your token? Yeah, did you get that?
The connection was really bad when you asked this question, to be honest.
Yeah. Can you say again?
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and ask the question again. He said, as an investor, why would we rather choose to invest with Aurus? And what are the plans ahead to increase the value of the token in the market and to attract many people to trade and buy your token?
I mean, first of all, it's everybody's decision in what to choose and where to invest in. But in real-world asset space that we're entering now, we are definitely a very key and solid player for almost 7 to 8 years with real partners. We might not be a Pepe or a Bonk or a dog with hat or whatever, but it's also not our play. We're a very serious-driven company with very serious-driven partners and with very seriously driven plans. So if you're looking for the 100x the next day, I would say go to Solana and invest in some meme coins and see if you can get it. If you look for the same play over a longer period of time, but with less risk appetite, and also having a passive income stream down the line by staking the asset in the app, then definitely this will be a play that might fit your closet. What we are doing at the company level and as project level, we have continuously built also in the bear market. It was rigorously for a lot of projects. A lot of projects got wiped out. What we did, we start building. We start working with partners, start building on our tech. And it lasted, of course, longer than we all wished for. But it's also why we came out now of this bear market, or let's hope it's going to be a big bull run, while having a lot of partnerships in place in all our business verticals. So from DeFi to digital collectibles to gaming and top level gaming. I mean, look, the former head of product from Nintendo is on our board as well, opening and kicking out down all the doors at the moment. On the same time, we have worked on our tech. So it also takes a long time, and definitely the tech that we were building. And happy to announce that we're not very far away from launching the new infrastructure with the accompanying dashboard and also the upgraded tokenomics that go along with it. So again, it's for everybody to decide, do your own research. But if you're looking for something serious in the real world asset space, yeah, of course, then talk to us. Maybe John wants to add here something as well.
Yeah, maybe what else would you like to know there? Because obviously Guido gave quite an explanation. Anything that he didn't hit on in the question that I can expand on?
Yeah, I think he pretty much got all that covered. All right,
All
so
right.
we would move on to the next question now. The final user, of course, from XSpace. What are the potential future developments or enhancement plan for Aurus official ecosystem to further optimize its utility token model?
I think, as Guido mentioned, there are some upgrades coming. We're working with professional partners and parties to do this. So, all current X holders, those that are getting now, are going to benefit from this. And it's going to massively improve the token model, the distribution, the incentivization mechanisms, incentivizing the right actions to grow the ecosystem, right? That's very key. And so, yeah, you'll know more from that as soon as we have the details finalized, but it is big news. And how are we going to bring more liquidity to the project? Well, that's very important, right? And it's something that I work quite hard on, and the team works quite hard on. We're a decentralized model, so we don't own the tokens, we don't own the gold, right, or the silver. That comes from trusted third parties. Now, to activate those third parties, but also the users in our community, is very important to increase liquidity. With that said, we've moved liquidity over to Save and Balancer, which are decentralized exchanges, and we'll be making a proposal to the Balancer DAO to get Bell rewards, BAL token. That'll incentivize further liquidity. Likewise with Save and their token, that'll also incentivize further liquidity. For liquidity providers, they can add liquidity to gold, USDC, and earn Balancer and Save as rewards. Our X token also will be added to further programs around this. The Aurus Treasury is also adding funds to X liquidity on exchanges all the time, right? With proportion of all new funds coming in too. New raisings that happen, more of that will be going to liquidity as well. And also be setting up an alliance with real world asset projects, right? With incentivized liquidity providers who can use gold and silver in their treasuries, but also be liquidity providers to each other in that alliance, which will strengthen liquidity for everybody using the Aurus ecosystem. So this is the way we work with parties, third parties, partners, to do this together, right? And to grow that liquidity together. So step by step, we will be increasing this as well, as it is the cornerstone of everything we do. And we do know how important that is. Thank you.
Beautiful. It's been amazing. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been such amazing speakers. With that being said, we would quickly head to the live segment. So many questions here. Trying to take about 5 questions from the live segment. Can get many response from those who are currently participating in the EMA. So the first question from Sonny, what are the benefits of the Aurus precious metal tokens? That's a straight question.
What are the benefits of Aurus precious metal tokens? I think if you just look at gold, if you want to be very simple and hold gold, you get the value of gold, right? So, ultimately you hold the gold token, you're owning the value of gold. Gold has for thousands of years been a very secure asset. It's not going up 100% a year, but it is, protecting you against inflation as best as possible. It is a good reserve asset. It is one that will protect you when markets are going down or in a negative cycle, as gold will hold stable then. The very wealthy in the world stay wealthy by owning gold. So, that's very simply, a benefit of holding gold. For silver as well, price is a little bit more volatile than gold, but it has multiple industrial applications, in solar and in other automotive industries. So, there's a lot of demand for it. But yeah, the volatility of that price is slightly higher than that of gold. So maybe you're going to enjoy a much sharper rise in prices when, supply is low and demand is high for silver. Gold is a much bigger supply, so therefore it will have more stable pricing. Platinum also massive demand in industry, and a very low supply, and very difficult to get that supply to the rest of the world. And actually, most of the supply of platinum comes from Africa, from South Africa to be specific. So you're holding platinum, you are, looking at it saying, if demand is out, stripping supply, ultimately the price of that asset should go up in a normal market. So that's really the base of the benefits of holding a precious metal token or these precious metal tokens. The next layer up is obviously what we've discussed this whole AMA. Now these tokens can actually be used to create more utility, right? Can be used to generate a yield, can be used to take a loan out of gains, can be used in DeFi gaming and digital collectibles as well, and other areas. The opportunities are endless, and it's easily attainable, right? I think that's simple. With a mobile phone and an internet connection, you can now own gold, silver, or platinum, or use them in all these other applications. Whereas without tokenization, it was a lot more difficult to get your hands on these assets and to custom and to safely store them as well. So yeah, I think that's covered.
Thank you. Awesome. So quickly now we would be heading to the next question from Zikos. Yeah, don't know how to pronounce that name. So what is the use of the Aurus token on your platform? I think that goes hand in hand with the question that I just answered. So I'm just going to skip that. So the next question is from Rapsi. He said, do you have a buyback or burning program?
If you look at the precious metals, it of course has a burning mechanism inside of it, because the providers of the metals have the ability to burn the token as well. So if, for instance, a provider, like Samsa Refinery in Spain, they have the gold vault that brings our main vaulting partner. And if, for instance, they want to liquidate a bar, they can make a request to the Aurus Foundation, and if they have enough tokens to back the taking out of the bar, these tokens will then be burned. On the Aurus X narrative, there is not a burning mechanism in place right now. But again, we are working hard on upgrading the tokenomics as we speak. And I'm sorry to say, but everybody has just to wait for a little while for us to get to an announcement, because right now I'm not at liberty to say anything yet about it. Only that there's an upgraded tokenomics coming. What it will entail, you have to wait a little bit. Join the community, follow us on Twitter and Telegram, and you will soon find out. I think we're on to the next question.
Yeah. So the next question is about the airdrops, because I think you touched on the airdrop within the introduction of the of the EMA, while you were talking about the opportunities presents to users. So I think this user needs more details about the airdrops, because he's currently asking if you have an airdrop, opportunities for airdrops on your website.
I'll handle that one. So I think if you say what we mentioned earlier in the conversation, let's be very clear, between airdrops and rewards that AX token holders are eligible for. It might be seen as an airdrop because if you stake your AX token in the Aurus app, you are eligible to claim rewards, and these rewards come from the movement, right, and all the transaction fees collected from gold and silver and platinum moving through all the kind of use cases and utilities we've discussed today. So it's not exactly an airdrop, You're not just getting free tokens for, doing some actions. You're actually an AX token holder, right? You've bought those tokens, you've staked them. Depending on your proportion of tokens that you've staked, as to the amount of, total revenue there is in the ecosystem, you're then eligible to claim rewards in gold, silver, and platinum. So very different from an airdrop. Unfortunately, no airdrop alpha today. But with that said, maybe it's a good way to say we are a delegated ecosystem, right? So we work with partners, right, to gain our traction and our scalability through our partners' networks, through their ecosystems, right? For example, we are partnered with Defacto, right, which is another real-world asset project, and they build infrastructure and DeFi infrastructure in the form of smart contracts, and they actually build our lending and borrowing vault. So we partner with them to do that for us. They also have their own token Factor, and we've had a lot of discussions. We're also partners with Polytrade Finance. Polytrade is like the OpenSea of real-world assets. They're a marketplace aggregator for real-world assets. They also have their own token, right? Trade, where Aurus has its own utility token, which is AX. And we've had multiple discussions with all of our partners as well. And I mentioned the Real-World Asset Alliance earlier. And watch the space, because we've had discussions where we can share in incentives and in different community programs where our token holders can actually earn tokens from all our other partners as well, like Polytrade, like Defacto, and many others. So you just have to wait and see, and position yourselves accordingly.
All right, thank you so much. The final question, from the final user here, is asking, what are your plans for global expansion?
Well, shooting with Hill is not something I ever liked in running a business, and I had several businesses during my professional career. Targeted focus is how you gain the most benefits. So global expansion is where you see a lot of companies actually fail, because the world is a very big place with a lot of people, with a lot of different habits, uses, etc. There's no one shoe that fits all. So our approach is way different, or not way, more different than that. We have a strong focus on certain regions where we operate in, and within that regions, we have strong focus on certain countries. And within these countries, we actually have a strong focus on user demographics. So while we cater our demand to people, and we did a lot of research in regions like Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East, where we're centered, as well as Western Europe, where we have headquarters, of course, in London. It's better to know your client, know your customer well, where this client is, and serve him good, than aiming for a global expansion where you probably run out of money quite fast, because it's very difficult to find one shoe that fits all. So global expansion in everywhere in the world is definitely not something we want to do. We have a strong focus on certain regions, areas, countries, and user demographics.
Yeah, and to add to that also, when you're dealing with real world assets, we've been around for a while now, and have learned and have always gone through the legal processes properly, and with legal opinions, with trusted advisors and legal teams, and working directly with regulators, right, to ensure we're always on the right side of regulation. It's just a reality of the game, right? We're not just spinning up a token and giving it a cool name and a character, and hoping to go to the moon. It's there's real gold, silver, and platinum that is custodied in the real world, and these have rules. So you've also got to look at the markets where the rules are favorable, right? Where you can work within the rules. Sometimes markets don't allow you, to expand into those markets because of the kinds of assets that you are working with in your project. So there are certain limitations in terms of where you expand to, where you expand to first. Doesn't mean those markets are out of bounds for all of time. It just means maybe now they don't have, clear regulations we can work with. Hence, we won't expand to them now. And maybe there are other markets which we would prioritize because the rules are clearer. Just to add, to what Guido said there as well. But ultimately, that's just the reality of dealing in the RWA space or the real world asset space. So I hope that clears things up. But obviously, yes, a lot of marketing. We still market as well, right? Even though we're a delegated ecosystem, we've got a lot of different partners. We still are kind of the advocate for digital gold and digital silver, and marketing is very key in terms of getting that attention in this space, in terms of maintaining engagement with your community as much as it's a necessary part of any business. And we engage in that in terms of app downloads, in terms of incentivization programs, in terms of Twitter campaigns, in terms of being at Token 2049 recently in Dubai, and co-sponsoring side events with our partners like Polytrade, right? And being, at the heart of it all, being whitelisted on, tier 1 exchanges already for when the time is right. Going through all these processes in preparation for this expansion, in preparation for regulations to become more clear and more evident. And then we move into those spaces, strategically, and with the right backing behind us, right? From investors and also from the regulators. So it's a structured process. But we also know that, you need to keep the attention, in this industry. And, hence why the, RWA meets meme is probably a lot of people scratching their heads now, waiting to see what this all means. And we can't wait to share more about that with you. So again, watch the space, and been a pleasure.
Definitely.
Awesome stuff. Thank you guys so much. I think with this, we have actually come to the end of the AMA presentation with Aurus. You guys have been absolutely awesome, and it's been a nice 1 hour with you guys. And on behalf of Crypto Attack, I say a very big thank you to you guys for taking out time out of your busy schedule to dish out some of these vital informations to us. But I'm going to give you guys the spotlight now to give us a conclusion.
I probably think he said give the conclusion, right? John?
Maybe to touch on something that we haven't already covered before we wrap up.
Right.
What haven't we covered? We covered actually quite a lot, and I'm actually happy to share more and do more AMAs, because we have been flying quite low under the radar for the last month and even year, because being busy with business development, getting the partners in place, building the tech in the traditional market, getting the right market makers, getting the right fundings from the VC backing. So, I mean, the next couple of months is going to be very exciting for us. And again, from a lot of perspectives, I cannot drop any of these things without having a conclusive PR moment. But what I can say, we're finalizing our latest infrastructure. Hopefully, even in the next 6 weeks, the first parts of it will go live. It will be accompanied with the first parts of the new narrative. The new tokenomics upgrade will be extremely exciting. I cannot wait to share it with everybody, because I already want to scream up the roofs here in Dubai that what's coming. And of course, with our trusted group of advisors, it's being shared, and there's a lot of excitement going on. Gold is not a dull asset anymore. Gold is now a very cool asset, and it's going to be so much cooler if you're going to see where we're going to integrate it in, which partners, which gaming companies we already signed. I can only say stay tuned, because this is going to be a hell of a ride. Maybe John, you want to add something?
I think, as Guido said, we've spoken a lot about where we've come from, future plans, what we've learned, how we can improve. We also know that we need to improve in certain areas, right? And nobody's perfect. People make mistakes, projects make mistakes, but the key thing is to listen to community, but also look at the market, look at the narrative we're in, the space we're in. We were very early to it, maybe even too early, but we're still here. We've survived the bear market. We carried on building. We know we need to improve in certain areas. We're applying that. We're improving there. We will keep listening. We will keep innovating. And we aim to be the value layer of Web3, right? Bringing that trusted value of gold to all businesses, all decentralized applications, all chains that want to build with the value of gold and silver. We look to deliver that. And as Guido said, I think it's going to be one hell of a ride. And thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. I'm sure that a few members of the community, if not a lot, have actually ventured into the Telegram community. I actually am definitely going to be a part of this. And I wish you guys, the very best. You guys have a lot going on. So we are really looking forward to hosting you again, maybe after most of what you have already covered have been brought to light. So on behalf of Crypto Attack, I say thank you for taking time out to answer our questions. And I say have a very good day, guys, and good luck.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.